Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today we are going to discuss all the important questions from the past question papers of MMPC 2, okay, Management of Human Resources or Human Resource Management, HR, right? So let us get into it without much delay. Um, so we'll just be quickly browsing through these questions and I will be giving you pointers on what all things you can write down. Okay. So one thing that is common in IGNOU term and examination question paper is that they will ask you to provide examples on almost all question answers theories. Okay. So even if they did not ask, I would suggest you give examples for each of your answers, divide your answers into appropriate sections and give proper headings for each of your sections, write down neatly. You will only be given one answer booklet. You will not be given any additional sheets. So your entire answer paper, question paper should be answered within that one booklet. And that booklet will contain around, I guess, 28 to 30 pages. So you will have to plan accordingly and utilize each page or each line of your answer script. Do not waste any pages or any lines even for that matter, but your paper should be very neat and presentable. Wherever possible, flow charts or diagrams, however, in your capacity, whatever you can, okay, diagrammatically try to convey your answer diagrammatically or complement your answers with diagrams and examples whenever necessary. Make it a point to make your answers readable, okay. Even if the invigilator decides to skim through your answer sheet because of time constraints, they should be able to easily find out the important points and mark you accordingly, right? That should be the aim. So plan accordingly and go. This MMPC 2, it has two sections, okay. We have a section A, which is, it is theory oriented only. Section A is essay type questions. You will be given around 5 questions and you will be asked to answer any 3 of them. So make sure you choose those 3 which is which you know a maximum about, okay. And section B will carry around 40 marks or so. That is the pattern we have been observing so far. So in that, what you will be given is, you will be given an excerpt, okay. You will be given some few paragraphs to read and understand, and then based on that there will be questions. So based on what you have read and based on what you have studied, not just in MMPC 2 but throughout this MBA first semester, whatever you have studied, based on that and your logical judgments and on the facts given in that uh, paragraph or that extract, answer the questions that follow it, okay. That should be your method, I would say. That is a good method for getting good marks, okay. If try to make your letters a bit big and legible. I'm not saying write very big letters, okay, but make sure your handwriting is also very neat and tidy. Okay, so let us get started. These are a few general tips which is applicable to all your papers. Okay, let us get started. So the uh, first question is, discuss the process of selection with and elaborate it with examples. So what is selection? What do you understand by the word selection or selection process? It is choosing the candidate, right? Human resource management. So selection should be human resource selection, right? That is, where do we need human resource? For the jobs, right? So choosing the candidate from within or outside the organization who is the most suitable for the current or future position that we are seeking for. That is selection process. So what are the few steps in selection process? So depending upon the type of job you are appearing for, definitely every job profile will have an initial screening. Then there will be a completion of application form. There will be employment tests, job interviews. Then they will give you a conditional job offer. They will conduct your background verification or background check, BGC. If required, they will do medical examinations, like if it is for military or defense or something, the police force or something like that. Definitely you will have to undergo medical examination, and then after that they will give you a permanent job offer, right? So those are the things that you will have to write for this exam, sorry, for such a question. The next question is, discuss the process of career planning with illustration. So what is career planning? Career planning can be done either by ourselves or by our managers, okay. It is a continuous self evaluation and planning process that has to be done by the person to have a very strong career path which is aligned with our career goals or our aspirations and skill sets. What it does is, it enables the individual or the person to focus on where they want to be in life professionally, that is, okay. it might need to be reiterated every few years. Therefore, it is a continuous process of understanding ourselves, setting our career goals, revising and revisiting our skills, and searching for the right career options. So, the career planning process, it starts with self-assessment. Then we research on careers. After that, we will set our career objectives. Then we will improve our skills and we prepare our CV or our resume. We will search for jobs, and whether we get it or not, after a few years or after some time, we will revise our career goals. And then again, once we revise our career goals, we again do a self-assessment and the process continues. So this is the process of career planning with an illustration. So the next one is describe the principles in designing HRD systems with examples. So what is HRD? Human resource development. Okay. So what are the functions of human resource development? It is training, personal development, organizational development, career planning, career development, change management, all those things, right? So those were the functions of human resource development. So what will be the principles in designing these systems? Developing a proper monitoring mechanism. It should focus on enabling capabilities, balance the adaptation and change in organizational culture, attention to contextual factors. It should help to build a linkage with other functions and balance specialization and diffusion of functions, ensure respectability for the function, balance differentiation and integration, establish a linking mechanism. So all those things are the principles that come under designing of a human resource system, and you can complement it with examples. Okay. The next question is briefly explain the major components of the industrial wage structure of India. Okay, and it is asking to highlight the recent developments. Okay, so what are the components of industrial wage structure? It should in India especially. Some of the few major components include a fair standard of wages, fairness to employer as well as the employee. There should be unambiguity. There should be an equality or equity. Annual increments should be given. Incentives should be given. It should it should be enough to meet the cost of living. There should be prompt payment, right? And there should be economic stability as well. A few factors that could influence these wage systems or wage structures are the company's wage policy, the prevailing wage in comparable industries, financial position of the company. If the company is doing good, naturally the people who are employed by the company will get handsome wages, right? That is the expectation. Demand and supply of labor, the cost of living, capacity of bargaining, nature of job, productivity, and living wages. Okay. Now, the recent developments you can write about the new wage code of 2022. Okay, in that, according to the new wage code which is released in 2022, a few important a few important pointers of this new wage code of 2022 is increased PF contribution, change in the gratuity rule has come, change in salary structure has been proposed, as well as change in working hours. Right now, if you open, there are a lot of talks going on how we are trying to implement a 3-day work week or work from home options, like hybrid options, all those things, right? So depending on all those things, our wage structure is also bound to get affected or changed. So that is some of the recent developments. You can Google it and find out more about it if you are interested. Okay, so that is the new wage code that has been proposed in 2022. Okay. Alright, so the next question is explain the steps in grievance handling procedure with a suitable illustration. So what is grievance handling? What is grievance? Grievance is when a written complaint has been filed by an employee which claims unfair treatment. That is a grievance. Okay. So what are the causes of grievance? Unsatisfactory working conditions or management's policy or wages and salary are all causes of grievance, right? Unfair or unjust treatment, too much workload or pressure, problems with supervision or supervisor or work groups, superficial personal aspirations, all these things are causes of grievance. Now, some forms of grievance are, the grievance could be factual, that is a legitimate grievance, or an imaginary that comes, it is not that it is not there, but the grievance has come up due to a perception issue, okay, due to the varying perceptions of individuals. Or it could be a disguised grievance, that is we do not know the reason is unknown, but there is a grievance, like it could be because some psychological needs of the person having the grievance has not been met. Okay, so grievance actually gives rise to conflicts, strikes, poor performance, dissatisfaction or disagreements, and lockouts, and all those things. So, how do we handle this grievance? First and foremost, we need to identify this grievance, define that grievance correctly, collect data, analyze and solve the grievance, and make sure you promptly redress the grievance and implement the solutions and follow up. Definitely follow up. So, that is the few steps in grievance handling procedure. So in this video, we are actually only focusing on section A. Okay, section B, you can go through all the extracts that are given in your textbook. Okay, there have been instances that they have directly taken that extract from the textbook and asked. Okay, there are chances, and anyways, it is a good practice as well. So go through it. Otherwise, also don't worry, it will not be very tough. What they are trying to do is give you some sort of a practical, they're trying to understand your practical, what you can say, knowledge, how comfortable you are in implementing whatever you have studied practically when a situation arises. That is what they're trying to understand through the section B. Okay, so that is for 40 marks. Again, the majority comes from section A, that is essay type questions. Okay, so the next question, what are the important factors of determining the wage structure of an organization, and discuss about any incentive scheme and bring out its merits. Okay, so the wage structure we have already discussed earlier. We will discuss now about the incentive scheme and its merits. So what is this incentive wage system? The workers earning in incentive wage system will rise or fall in according to actual output. So an immediate financial incentive is given to the employee to increase his efforts and expand the volume of his production. So there could be time based plan, like if you finish your work, the early bird prices, like if whoever finishes their work fast will get some incentive, like that. Or production based plans, where whoever gets the maximum output within a reasonable or stipulated time will get the incentive. Or group incentive plans, like if you have achieved your targets as a group, then you might get some bonus as a group, like that. Okay, so some of the merits or advantages of this is, it motivates towards more productivity. It provides an increased way of earning for the employees as well as employers, right? Because the productivity is increased efficiency and greater output, increased production capacity. Self-motivated employees will make less management necessary, right? The requirement for micromanagement will definitely be come down drastically if we have self-motivated employees. But at the same time, we will also, even though it is not asked here, we will also touch base upon its disadvantages. Okay, so a few disadvantages are that not necessary that the quality is improved. It could be a dubious scheme to increase output even, and it makes for a new normal. Okay, so discontinuing this incentive may actually cause agitation in employees, and employees may start overworking. And fast workers who are anyways fast and they were doing things fast or in their maximum capacity will receive less incentive, and because uh, now the slow workers are given money, but the fast workers, they were anyway fast, so they can't increase more beyond that, and therefore they will not be given any incentives just because they were consistently working at their maximum, right? So it will cause dissatisfaction for them. So what will happen? They will be motivated to lower their productivity so that they can work overtime and get incentives, right? So those are some of the disadvantages, and we've already discussed the merits or the advantages. Okay, so moving on. What is career planning, and discuss the process of career planning with an illustration. Okay, so the process of career planning and illustration we have already discussed. Next question, define human resource management, HRM, and differentiate it from the traditional personal management, and outline the objectives and functions of HRM. Okay, so what is HRM or human resource management? It is a modern approach, right? It is where man is treated as an asset. It is a strategic function where we do performance evaluation. It is more or less like a transformational role is there for fast decision making. There is a focus on effective use of manpower to achieve organizational goals, right? But personal management, on the other hand, it is a traditional approach where man was treated as a machine or a tool. Okay, and it is a routine function, personal management, and the main aim is for not job performance evaluation but job evaluation. Okay, and it has a kind of like a transactional role in management, and it is the process of decision making in personal management is actually slow, and it is more concerned with the workforce and its relationship with the organization. Okay, so that is HRM and versus traditional personal management. So how do we define human resource management? So human resource management can be defined as the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, okay, development, compensation, integration, maintenance and separation of human resources to the end that individual, societal and organizational objectives are accomplished. Okay, and this is a definition which is given by Edwin B. Flippo. And HRM is the process of actually acquiring, developing, maintaining, retaining. Okay, acquire, develop, maintain and retain human resources in the organization with the strategic objective of achieving these organizational goals. Okay, so human resource management, in that human refers to the workforce, resource is, that is, we are treating the workforce as a supply, and management is utilization. So how do we supply and utilize workforce? Okay, how can we maintain a constant supply as well as utilize the workforce appropriately? That is what human resource management is all about, right? It is a strategic approach. Okay, so that is HRM. Okay, yeah, functions of HRM. So what are the few functions of HRM? There is both managerial and operational functions of HRM. Okay, the managerial functions are the planning, organizing, directing, controlling. Operational functions include HR sourcing. Okay, that is selecting, placing, inducting, orienting, job analysis, HR planning, recruitment, all those things, sourcing related. Performance and training related, that is appraisals, training, transfer, promotion, demotion, career planning, career development, retention, retrenchment, all those things. The compensation and benefits, it includes the job evaluation, wage and salary administration, incentive, bonus, fringe benefits, social security measures, all those things. Then comes integration, that is employee engagement, employee welfare, counseling, ethics and HRM, employee morale handling, all those things. Then employee employer relations like grievance redressal or union management, disciplinary management, all those things. So the functions of HRM is actually what your entire syllabus covers. Okay, this MMPC 2, the functions of HRM is what the entire MMPC 2 is all about. Okay, so this is very important and it comes under your first block itself, the first unit itself. You will find this big flow chart over there. By heart it is important, along with the definition. There are many definitions given, at least one of them, whichever you find it, whichever you find convenient or easy to remember. At any one of those definitions of what HRM is, please have it, because it will come in useful. If not, this define HRM as a question directly, so one way or the other you will be able to utilize that in one of your answers. That is the pattern you have seen so far. Okay, so this is a very important question, I would say. Okay, so discuss the causes and effects of grievances. Briefly explain the steps in grievance handling procedure. Again, repeated question, we have already discussed. Define and discuss selection process. Explain with suitable examples the purpose and types of various selection tests, their significance, limitations and precautions. Okay, so what selection processes we have already discussed. So the various types of selection tests. Okay, so some of the tests include like the achievement or intelligence test, which is for measuring the knowledge or the proficiency of this trade. Okay, like work sample tests. Then we have aptitude or potential ability test, that is like the mental test, IQ test and all. Mechanical aptitude test for maintenance staff or mechanics. Psychomotor or skill tests for packing, testing, QA staff and all. Then we have personality test, like objective ones, which test for the neurotic tendencies or self-confidence. We have projective test, which tries to understand your responses to stimuli. Situation tests, where leadership or work without guidance is tested. Then we have interest tests, all these things. Okay, so all these different tests are there depending upon what type of a job you are trying to do. These selection tests, we do it. And the main advantage of implementing the selection test is that it can be implemented on a very large population with what you can say a minimal cost when compared to if you were going to do an individual interview or personal interview or something of that sort. So it is a, when the number of applicants are huge, then this kind of acts as your initial screening process. Okay, but the thing is that these tests do not guarantee 100% prediction on the of this on job success. Okay, so sometimes what happens is that even though the person might be highly qualified to do the job, sometimes luck might not favor them and they might not be able to clear the tests. Just because you have selected somebody from the tests, okay, does not mean that you have got the best candidate possible for the job. Okay, So that is selection process. Now discuss about the various socialization factors in an organization and their impact on employees. Okay, so the socialization factors in an organization could be like the individual members of an organization will be definitely replaced over time, right? So for the organization's culture to endure, what should it do? It should transmit from the current organizational member to new members. So this is called organizational socialization, okay? And it has three phases: anticipatory socialization, encounter, and then change acquisition. So anticipatory socialization is even before joining. Okay, you start aligning yourself with the culture of the organization from hearsay. Then encounter, that is the first day after joining, you encounter the actual culture over there. Then we come to change and acquisition, that happens right after joining. Okay, so the impact, what is the impact? Company culture, the motivation, team building, all those things are impacted by socialization. So some of the ways to improve socialization include engaging with others, starting in small ways, observing your co-workers, and developing of listening skills. All right. So next again, what is human resource planning? Discuss the process of human resource planning, citing suitable examples. Okay, so what is human resource planning? It is the continuous process of a systematic planning ahead. Okay, it is a systematic planning ahead to achieve optimum use of an organization's most valuable assets. That is humans, right? That is quality employees. Ensure the best fit between employees and jobs while avoiding manpower shortage or surplus. So the success of an organization lies in having neither less nor more than what is required, right? Human resource, and properly utilizing them to their maximum potential without demotivating them or making them dissatisfied in any way. Happy employees, happy workplace, happy company, more productivity, and happy customers. Okay. So, what is the process of human resource planning? Determine the objective of HRP, analyze the current manpower inventory, forecast the demand and supply, check and see if there are any manpower gaps and fill them. Employee planning, training and development, appraisal and manpower planning, all those things come under human resource planning. Okay, so the next is writing, to write short note on any two of the following. Okay, we will discuss all three. The first one is job description. So what is job description? It is nothing but the description of all the roles, responsibilities, what all skill sets and everything that might be needed for that particular job role in the organization. So that is prepared by the HR managers by talking to their departmental heads or the people, the colleagues, the departmental heads and the departmental employees, to understand what is required, what is the right, who will be the right candidate for that particular employment gap which is presented itself in the organization. So that is job description. So it will be put up in the advertisement for that job, right? The next is potential assessment again. So it is a way to assess the potential of the candidate. Then employee association in India. So associations are organizations of employees that is concerned primarily with the welfare and recreational activities of employees. Okay, so it is not a recognized association like trade unions. So that is Employees Association of India. Now describe and discuss the concept, objectives and functions of human resource management. We've already done that. What is outsourcing? Explain the need for it in an organization. Discuss how outsourcing can be successful. So outsourcing happens when usually whatever is done, some functions that are done by the organization, they outsource it. That is, they rather than doing it themselves within the organization, they give those functions to other enterprises or other organizations which specialize in those processes alone. So that is called business process outsourcing. Okay, BPO. You might have heard that word. Okay, so that is outsourcing. You are outsource. So that is the meaning itself of the word. Okay, so why is it needed in an organization? Businesses tend to outsource when either when they realize that these processes, okay, can be done at a much more cost effective way by some other organizations than if they would have done it themselves. Okay, or if they find that outsourcing will help them get better quality outcomes. Okay, so those are the times when this we what can you say, um, businesses go for outsourcing, and that is when it becomes successful as well. Okay, describe the objectives and benefits of performance appraisal and discuss the errors that occur in having an objective evaluation. giving suggestions as to how they can be minimized. Okay, so this is a bit lengthy question, right? First, they are asking us for the objectives and benefits of performance appraisal. So what is performance appraisal? We can write. So we can start our answer by saying that, okay, performance appraisal is one of the important functions of human resource management, right? It is one of the um, operational functions of human resource management. We can say like that, and then we can say why performance appraisal is important. It is used to evaluate and appraise that performance of the employees so as to keep them motivated and give them appropriate rewards for whatever dedicated work or whatever work they are doing for the company in order to meet the company's objectives or goals, right? So like that you can write about the benefits and objectives and all those things. Now discuss the errors that occur in having an objective evaluation. Okay, so they are asking for whatever errors that could occur when we are trying to do an objective evaluation of the performance of the employee. Okay, and they're asking us to give suggestions on how we can minimize those errors. So some of those errors that come up with the what you can say an objective evaluation in performance appraisal include like central tendency error, strictness or leniency error, the halo effect, the recency error, personal biases. Recency error is like um, rather than trying to think about the performance of the employee throughout the appraisal cycle, we might just look at their performance in the last 2 months, okay, or 3 months, and then based on that, or even maybe just before the appraisal cycle is about to end, however they have behaved. If we try to give the appraisals based on that, that will be wrong, right? So those are some of the errors. So once you know the errors, you can come up with your own ideas of how we can eliminate those errors, right? So so that is it for this video. We have some more questions to be discussed in this subject, that is human resource management, but we will do that in the next video. All right, so till then, happy learning, all the best, bye bye.